Good day, everybody. Tracy Brown here, your somatic dietitian and attune eating specialist, and we are going to chat a little bit about when you hear those words, I'm not sure this is going to help me, or I'm not sure what's going to help me, or if I can be helped. Um, I've been thinking about this post since it was put up yesterday, so I appreciate our poster who put that up yesterday because those are questions, those are concerns that even make me squirm a little. And when I say even, like I'm above being stumped, I'm not. That's why I do lots of supervision. So I feel comfortable as much as possible in terms of understanding the root of those kind of concerns and questions. So anyway, I've been thinking about it, and I answered it somewhat in the post when I said that oftentimes when people are in kind of this I'm not sure you or this will help me because I'm so messed up, essentially. That's coming from a pretty, obviously a fearful place, but there's also a lot of collapse in that. Let me make sure the volume's good. There's some collapse there, meaning I've tried so hard, I'm so tired, I'm not feeling very hopeful. In those moments, I want to unpack that. So it's really important that you do too, whether they work with you or not, whether that's when people tell you that and they leave you. Unfortunately, you can't always prevent that, but sorry, the sun is all of a sudden coming up. Here we go. So whatever ends up happening, I like to feel basically good about unpacking those fears. And if somebody's saying, like, I'm not sure this is going to help me, the first step is like, well, what is it that you feel can't be helped? And they might say, well, I've been doing this for so long, this is all I know. And that makes me start to think that there's definitely a part of them, whether they have that identified or not, there's a part of them that is hesitant to let it go because there could be, this is the only way they know how to reach out, to allow themselves to be seen, to be heard. That's the only way they got heard, is if they're really suffering. And it's not as much of a victim mentality thing. I mean, some people might call it that. But I look at, there's a character strategy there really of like just enduring suffering. And that's just kind of what they know. That's an usually older part of them. It's not the adult version that came to you willing to maybe slap down some money saying, hey, let's get to work on this and let's get some freedom. They want that. But there may be a piece or a part. They can't always identify how old that is, where that is in their thinking and their consciousness. Maybe it's in a part of their body that they can identify. Those are some things you'd have to work through. So this is really important because this, I think, is a big difference between if you're really going to be a coach or a nutrition therapist that has longevity with clients, that knows how to keep people in when things are tricky and dicey. Because frankly, you're not going to really get a lot of clients that are just like, totally gung-ho. They understand the importance of investing in themselves. They're willing to pay you what you ask, and they have perfect capacity and resiliency to deal with every hard feeling or emotion. Those aren't the majority of the people that come to us, and it's not because they don't exist. They do. I have those kind of clients, but I also have clients who are really entrenched, and they come to us too, except that they're going to have these parts that really it looks like sabotage, but really it's just a lot of fear and a lot of stuckness, and there's not capacity in that part of their body, of their system. So they're going to reach out in ways through the food and the body that get your attention, through their disorder eating behaviors, and they're going to say things like, I don't think this is going to help me. And we got to be curious, like, well, what doesn't feel like it's going to help? Or what part doesn't feel like it can be helped, or whatever. And those are sometimes the game-changing questions that help people feel like, oh, there's something here for me. It's close enough for me to reach, and it's you. Now, these clients, I highly recommend that you are, like the poster talked about, like, she is right, and I think that's really wise. So, like, I can't be coaching this on my own. And not because it's just necessarily above something you can handle, but it's like there's a lot going on. and this person needs a lot more support than just one session a week or even two with you. They might need you and another person, like a therapist. They might need a really experienced therapist twice a week besides you, and that would be building a really good team together. So thank you for watching live. I'm getting ready to hop off, but please start from the beginning, because this is a very I think this is a really important topic to start to navigate what's going on and through. And I only got to this place of comfort with this because of supervision. So I'm just putting that out there to you. I didn't somehow just stumble upon knowing this stuff. You know, I work with people who are way more experienced than me. You know, I've been doing this a lot longer than me. And that's how I learned, and that's what I offer as well. So anyway, as we wrap up here, what I want you to be thinking about is when people say that, and if you feel a flinch of like, what do I do? Your first job is to get regulated yourself and get settled in. Because if they're not usually that part of them that's like reaching for, like, I don't know if this is going to help me. What's been on the other side of that is usually nothing, or fear, or dismissal, or rejection. And so they're pretty used to that. And if you can show up really grounded and like, I'm here and I'm not going anywhere, and you're just this regulated version that they can kind of like, okay, I can attach to, they're more likely to stay and work through whatever it is that they feel like, at least part of them feels like that they can't overcome. So I hope this tip helped. If it did, let me know about it. I really appreciate it. And keep your questions and musings coming, because that helps this whole group as a community, you know, push ourselves to really, I think, more advanced levels with our counseling skills. So thanks so much for watching. Take care. Bye.